Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. Today we are looking at one of the Inktober pieces I did that I haven't had a chance to show you yet, and since it is a book-themed piece and I don't have any other interesting stories to tell you right now, we're going to talk about some of my favorite authors and the books that they have written. So if that's up your alley, welcome to the conversation. Please do comment down below, tell me who your favorite authors and what your favorite books are. If that's not your thing, then just mute me in a minute and enjoy the piece. Before I start rambling about books, just in case you are going to mute, please do, if you like this, hit subscribe. I'd love to have you around. I do put out art videos every Tuesday. Thursdays, sometimes they're an art-related product review, sometimes they're an art-related tutorial, and sometimes they're a crafting video. And then occasionally, like last week, I'll have a third bonus video, and if there's no particular reason to put it out on a different day, I put those out on Fridays. And of course, if you like this video, please do hit the like button, leave a comment down below. I do my best to reply, and well, if you don't like it, go ahead and hit the dislike button. As Philip DeFranco says, it doesn't do what you think it does. Alright, so let's get on to a book discussion. I just went up into my office and grabbed a whole bunch of books, and I am now surrounded by books and authors that I'd like to talk about. These are all going to be science fiction and fantasy books, although some of them might sometimes be slotted into general fiction depending on where you're looking, but I consider them all to be science fiction and fantasy. First, let's talk about The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. If you haven't heard of Patrick Rothfuss and his Kingkiller Chronicles, you need to read these books. The third one is not out yet. He's kind of like George R.R. Martin in that he takes forever to finish books, but when they finally come out, you forgive him because they are amazing. Each book is one day of the main character recounting his past to the chronicler, who is interested in taking down his story because he is such a legend. His name is Kvothe, and he has many other names, and it goes through his quest to learn magic and all of the adventures he had, all of the trouble he got into, all of the interesting characters he met across this fantasy world he lives in. And it is so well written. It is by far one of my favorite fantasy collections out there. He has written some short stories and novellas to go along with the world, but, you know, like every other fan of Patrick Rothfuss out there, book 3, come on Pat, book 3. Next book I've grabbed is Calculating God by Robert J. Sawyer. Contrary to the sound of the title, this is not a religious book. This is a science fiction novel about a terminal cancer patient who is also a scientist working at a museum who meets an alien who's looking for somebody who's an expert on the species, who is questioning things and wants to come along on their mission to meet the creator of the universe. Absolutely fascinating. And Robert J. Sawyer, he has won so many awards, including the Aurora and the Nebula. He's a Canadian author, absolutely talented guy, best science fiction author I read, and I had the pleasure of meeting him once. He's a great guy. Next book I have grabbed is The Martian by Andy Weir. You probably know all about it now because of the movie. I actually haven't seen the movie yet. I've only read the book, but it's fascinating. I absolutely love it. Science fiction novel about an astronaut stranded on Mars and how he survived. Next book I grabbed is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Now this one, I would call it a fantasy, but I think I've seen it in the general fiction section at some bookstores. Absolutely captivating fantasy romance about these two young magicians who are being trained by rival magicians, and they're basically in a fight to the death, although they don't know it's to the death, and they don't know who their opponent is, but they happen to meet and fall in love with each other anyway. And it's just, when I finish reading this book, every time I read it, I can't read anything else for 3 days because I'm just stuck in this world and I want more. And the day that I'm recording this voiceover, Erin Morgenstern just announced that she finally has a second book coming out next November, and I am so excited for that. Next book on my pile is Eve the Awakening by Jenna Moreci. Fellow YouTuber, fellow Jenna. I am a huge fan of her books. Eve the Awakening is her debut novel. It is a science fiction novel set in the future when humans are starting to evolve and some people are splitting off and have different abilities, and they're not well treated. There's a lot of xenophobia about them, but there's also an alien race that's attacking the world, and these people are the ones who can help. She has a new novel out, The Savior's Champion, and it's not a sci-fi, it's a fantasy, epic, also a romance. Definitely check her out, check her channel out, check out her books. And hey, Jenna Moreci, if you happen to be watching this, somebody pointed you in my direction. Hi, huge fan. Thanks for checking me out. Love your stuff. Alright, next book on my pile. I don't think I'm going to get through all of these before my time runs out. The Dying Days by Shannon Patrick Sullivan. This is a very local book to me. This is a urban fantasy written by somebody I actually studied under at Memorial University here in Newfoundland. He's a math department professor, but this is a fantasy novel based on the premise that old cities have memories, and if you know how to access the memories of a city, you can travel along pathways that don't exist anymore. And it's fascinating, the alternate world he has made for the city of St. John's. And next I grabbed a random Star Trek novel. This is a Star Trek Next Generation novel, All Good Things. I didn't pick this novel in particular because it's the best one out there. I just picked it up because Star Trek novels hold a very dear place in my heart. As soon as I graduated to adult level novels, this is what I was reading. I read all of my mom's, and then I went out to, the Goodwill shops and got more. Alright, next I have Gifts by Ursula K. Le Guin. I absolutely love Ursula Le Guin. I started reading them when I was about 12, and then I remember one of the classes in my high school, like, you could take English and social studies as separate courses, or you could take humanities where you had the same teacher for twice the amount of time and you did both subjects but you kind of crossed the topics. They were reading A Wizard of Earthsea, and I just happened to have it with me one day because I was rereading it because I loved it, and my friend in my math class thought that I was actually in her humanities class because I was reading this, and why would I be reading it otherwise? Because I like it. Gifts is my favorite of her books. The main character has this kind of laser eye firepower type thing going on, and in order to protect everybody, they walk around blindfolded. It's an amazing book. She also wrote science fiction novels, so whether you prefer fantasy or science fiction, Ursula Le Guin is your girl. Next, I'm gonna rush through these because I have a few more. Hunted by Kevin Hearn. I absolutely love the Iron Druid series. He has finished it with it now, so if you like to pick up a series and read it from beginning to end without stopping, you can do that on this. The basic premise of the Iron Druid series is, what if there is a 2,000-year-old druid who is still alive, and all of the gods of all of the pantheons you can think of also exist, and he's pissing them off. I have also picked up Patricia Briggs. This is Masks. I love all of her fantasy novels that are standalone or like a duology, 2 books. The Hobbs Bargain was the first one I read of hers. Picked up a Harry Potter book, The Philosopher's Stone. If you've been around my channel, you know I love Harry Potter, but I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that J.K. Rowling is one of my favorite authors. And if you haven't read Harry Potter, you owe it to yourself to read it. Don't count the movies. The movies are good, but they skip a lot of stuff. Read the books. I also have Robin Hobb, Assassin's Apprentice. Robin Hobb is an excellent fantasy author. Basically, king's bastard secretly brought into the kingdom and raised by the king's most trusted servant. And he has this natural magical ability called the wit, and it's not well thought of. People who have the wit are dangerous and weird. So, long story short, he ends up getting trained as the royal assassin, and he gets into all sorts of trouble. It's great. And the last book I picked out, we'll end on this one, is Kristen Britton's Green Rider. This is a fantasy series that I started reading in high school. It's another fantasy novel. If you haven't figured it out, I do read more fantasy than science fiction, but I love them both. Green Rider follows Kerrigan, and she is a messenger in this fantasy world, and she starts off by finishing off a task from a rider who was killed, and his ghost ends up helping her a bit, and she gets into all sorts of trouble because dangerous people don't want her to deliver her messages. Thank you for sticking it out if you're still listening to me. Like I said, please do comment down below. Tell me who your favorite authors are, what your favorite books are. So thanks guys, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and I will see you on Thursday with another video. Bye guys!